World, welcome to Napoli Talk. I'm gonna go straight with the ref, man. I'm gonna go straight with the ref. I never do. I never, ever just say this is completely the ref's fault. You know, I've been doing this now for a year and a half. And, those of you that have watched me in this year and a half know that I never say that it's the ref's fault. You know, I say they contribute, I say this, that, and the other. But today the referee was so bad. So bad. And it's a problem of Serie A. It's not a problem of this referee. This referee, he is just refereeing based off his skill level. The problem is why Serie A decided to assign this referee, who has 6 games of Serie A experience, 6 games, why he gave us, the team at the top of the table, a referee with 6 Serie A games to his experience. Not good enough. Not good enough. You cannot give a team fighting for the title, whether that's Napoli, Inter, Milan, or Atalanta, or one of the teams in the bottom half of the table struggling for relegation, you cannot give someone with 6 games experience. There were so many other games that this guy could have refereed. Let's go look at some of the games of Serie A today. Let's go look at some of the games, alright? Let's see who played against who. Give me a second, guys. I'll find you at least 3 other games where this idiot could have gone and refereed. Instead, they give it to Napoli. He could have gone and done, let's see, Salernitana Juventus. You have already 2 bad things in that game. Why not add a third? Fiorentina Sampdoria. 2 teams that are playing for absolutely nothing this year. Why not go there? Why go and give a referee with 6 Serie A games experience to Napoli? I've never seen a worse decision in my life. And as I said, it's not about the referee. He's just officiating based on his skill level, based on his experience. And I don't think, I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm not saying any of that. That's all BS, guys. It's not rigged. I'm just saying this is his level, and this is the minimum requirement to referee a team at the top of the table. It's about respect. It's about respect at this point. So, yeah. There, I said it. He's stupid. He's not stupid. He's just not good enough. And who is stupid is the guys that assigned him to this game. I just cannot believe it. I cannot believe how frustrated I am. Guys, I took, for those of you that follow me on Twitter, you guys know that I was like 6 hours in the car today, made sure I came back in time for the Napoli game just to see this, just to see someone who's so average at his job get the chance to officiate Napoli at the top of the table. Unbelievable. Let's go with some of the comments, guys. Anthony Navarro, great job by Sassuolo. They played fantastic. They deserve to win or deserve the point, whatever the VR review. Diego Marquez is saying, super correct, Anthony. I saw that Elmas was guarding him. Should have been someone taller. Regarding Scamacca's goal, we'll get over that. Tariq is saying free Unas. I think Unas was just coming back from injury, and to be honest, I'm quite glad that Unas didn't come on, because the last thing we needed was someone coming back from injury when they're not ready, and then we just add to the list of injuries. We already got screwed over today. I mean, today we got screwed over so hard in every single way. Left, right, top, bottom. every single way we got screwed over today, guys. Ghost Rider is in the house saying Fabian and Mertens subs were correct. Fabian was injured, Mertens is old, and we shouldn't overwork him. It was fault of the B team. Di Lorenzo got done by Kriakopoulos. Disappointing since he's always so reliable, but how did our defense allow Scamacca to juggle the ball and score? Scamacca, look, the Scamacca goal was, I would say, 30 to 40% Napoli's fault, but you got to give credit to Scamacca. I mean, if you leave any other striker in that position, there's only a few that can actually score. It's difficult to control the ball, hit it first time, hit the target, and beat the goalkeeper. Scamacca's goal was really special. And, you know, take nothing away from Scamacca. Yes, we should have defended better. I agree with you, but I think a lot of the credit goes to Scamacca in that one. And it's exciting for Italy, actually, having a striker like him come through. Diego Marquez is also here, saying at the beginning of the game, they said that this was the ref's fourth official game. You need refs with more experience. So from my limited research, he's got 6 Serie A appearances. Yeah, I mean, this guy is, yeah, he's got 6 Serie A. Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, just reading on his experience there. Just Matt Marco saying the Scamacca goal was dope. Too bad it was against us. Yeah, that's my same thought. You know, like sometimes you've got to just hold your hands up and say that was a good goal by Sassuolo. The second one, the first one, and you know they scored a goal. They're playing at home. The field got heavy. You know, it's been raining. The field got heavy. I think maybe that contributed to some of the injuries because they're all muscular injuries. So potentially the field had something to do with it. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on that subject. But, you know, you start the game with one team and you end the game with a completely different team. And, I mean, I know that it's normal in football to have subs, but it's very rare that Napoli would take off all at once players like Insigne, Fabian, and Koulibaly. And obviously we're not playing with some other key players like Osimhen and Anguissa because of injuries. So, you know, it's not a team. The team that ended today's game is not a team that would ever normally be put out there, whether that's through substitutions or as a starting 11. It just wouldn't. That's not an excuse. That's just saying it for people who maybe missed the game and don't know these details. Let's see. Maximus is saying saw the tie coming and possible loss when KK went off on Real. Anthony saying Spalletti on the bench is gonna hurt us as well. I just hope we can beat Atalanta. Yeah, no Spalletti on the bench is gonna hurt us. Sorry, I didn't read that first, but yeah, no Spalletti. I mean, Spalletti got a red card. The ref gave a red card to Spalletti, and it just made no sense. 0 sense. Absolutely, this ref was horrible. Ghost Rider saying our strength in defense lies on the high line and press, which doesn't allow opposition team to attack. It isn't strong when we park the bus like the terrorist Allegri. Ghost Rider, you are completely correct. We have to play to our strength, which is keeping our line as high as possible. If they ever play behind us, we've got the speed to, get back at them. But we suffer from crosses coming in. It's never been our strong point. Dealing with crosses, and the 2 goals that we conceded today were both from crosses. One was a set piece and one was the Scamacca one. So, yeah, I mean, Ghost Rider is also saying Scamacca wasn't playing in Serie A before last season, but that's the thing with strikers. They move up categories so quickly. I mean, so was Jamie Vardy before going to Leicester and winning the title. I mean, 2 years before he was in second division, and if you go back 3 or 4 years before that, he was in 7th. So, yeah, striker is one of those positions that it's actually, if you're a striker and you're like 24, 25, actually you still got time to reach the top level, even if you haven't reached there yet, because all you need is one good season and teams will sign you up like that. So, yeah. Daniel Bowen is saying, why are we freaking out? Chill, please. It's not the end of the season, just like the Inter loss wasn't. And Daniel, thank you. Thank you for that comment. that's very wise, and you're right. And we do need to just take a step back and realize that we are first. And I'm not at all saying this team sucks. I'm not at all saying we're screwed. It's not that. I don't think anyone is really saying that. I think everybody knows the quality of this team. I think everybody knows that the season is long. But we have a right to be frustrated with the referee and his lack of experience. And I'm going to be super interested to see what Spalletti has to say. Let's go to the analysis of the game. This game had a little less analysis. And it's more just a recap of the highlights of the game. But that's because the game was slow. Sassuolo tried to break down the play quite a lot. They tried to foul us. They tried to really not get us going. Unlike Lazio gave us a lot of space and a lot of room to work with. Sassuolo, man marked, stopped us in our tracks a lot of the time. It was difficult, so it didn't allow for much tactical analysis, actually. But before I continue with the analysis, let me read some of the newer comments, because you guys are writing a lot, but I can't read everything, unfortunately. Not every comment stands out, so I have to just pick and choose. Vincenzo Bertillo, do you think Spalletti was a bit overconfident with the 2-0 when he took off Mertens? And why sub Chucky when it was clear to me Politano wasn't fit yet? So Politano actually came on replacing Fabian, which was interesting when Fabian got injured. And then we took Lozano off, put Politano where Lozano is, and then put Demme in what was Fabian's original position. And I think fundamentally it was Fabian was injured and we needed someone to come on, whether that be Demme or Politano. Neither of them were fit. They both had to come on within the space of a few minutes, and neither of them seemed fit because they're both coming back from COVID, essentially. So who knows how long it will take them to be fully fit. Vesavius is also here. Hello. We were hoping for a top 4 finish at the beginning of the season, and we're top right now. Some of y'all need to chill. It's the same thing as I said before. Look, we're all aware of where we stand in the table. We're all extremely happy with how this team is going, and we know that this team is quality, absolute quality. There's some filth in that team, and in a good way. Filth in a good way, in case some of you don't know slang. But we got robbed of 2 points, and there's other teams that are being gifted points, and we got robbed. And so it's okay to feel frustrated, because I really think that today was one of those games where the injuries that we had coming into the game, the injuries that we got during the game. People seem to forget also Insigne got injured. 3 big injuries: Insigne, Fabian, Koulibaly. We've still got Anguissa out. We've got Osimhen out. Politano's not great. Manolas is out. Well, he's been out all season pretty much. Demme didn't look great. This is a bit worrying right now. So it's all right to feel agitated for the games that we've got coming up. We've got huge games. We've got Atalanta, we've got Milan. It's going to define our season the next 20 days. So it's really important that hopefully these injuries are not big. They can come back, but chances are they'll have to miss those games, which is for us, top 4 was the target. But when you've got the ambition of potentially winning, a realistic ambition of potentially winning, and then it could potentially not happen because of injuries and refs, that's frustrating. So anyways, let's go to the analysis. So Zielinski missed a absolutely crazy chance here. How he skies the ball so often, I will never know. But Zielinski ended up having a good game, actually. He got 2 assists, but he does need to work on his finishing. He's all right outside of the box, but he needs to not put as much power into his shots inside of the box, if I could recommend him something. This was literally our only other chance in the first half. And I think this is not a technical analysis, more of a, I mean, it's not a tactical analysis, more of a technical analysis. And look, I am in no position to tell Mertens what to do. But, if I may, I think he made the wrong run here. He tries to go and cut across Insigne, thinking that Insigne will cut inside, and then Insigne can put the ball to the left. But actually, what Mertens should have done was he should have stretched out the Sassuolo defense. And if he went to the right, he actually would have been in a great spot to receive a pass from Insigne. Instead, Ruiz comes in behind Insigne, and Insigne is left with no options in front of him because Insigne doesn't slow down. And so then Insigne is forced to, well, he toe punts this. I'm not sure he's forced to do that, but he toe punts it, and the goalkeeper saves it. It's an easy save for the goalkeeper, but I think Ruiz could have done better there, and maybe we could have had a goal in the first half. And speaking of the first half, there's a reason why we didn't do so well. There's a reason why. The way we attacked almost felt. I'm not sure how many of you guys follow rugby. I mean, I'm not a big rugby fan, but when you see rugby, you see the team sort of attack like this. They're all in a line because obviously in rugby you've got to pass the ball backwards to go forward. That's what it looked like with Napoli a lot of the times in the first half. And whilst this looks great, almost like rugby, you don't actually want that in football. In football, you want to have someone that you can actually pass the ball forward to, and then that person can lay it off someone else, and either lay it off that same person or lay it off on the side. But you want that focal point in the middle, because what that focal point in the middle does is that as the defense is moving backwards, if you have one guy that stays there, someone in that defense also has to stay with him. So you've got the defense that moves except for one guy, and that splits the defense. And that's where you find the gap. But because we're all moving in the same direction, then Sassuolo's defense can all move in that same direction as well. That means that, yes, we're getting closer to the goal, but actually we're not creating a difficult situation for Sassuolo to manage. Everything is, they can stay in their line. You can clearly see they can stay in their line. They've got the situation under control. If we had someone in the middle there to pass the ball to, someone like Kirikesh would have had to stay with him, and then all of a sudden, when the other guys go back, you've got a gap behind Kirikesh. So that's something that we needed to work on in the second half. And if you see how we scored the Mertens goal, you'll see that that's what Mertens was doing for the second goal, where he was back to the goal and laid it off to Zielinski and then made a run. And it created the gap behind the defender that was marking him. So, it's one of the things that we didn't do so well in the first half, and then we improved it in the second half. Guys, if you are liking the analysis, the tactical analysis of Napoli Talk, I know it's a frustrating game, I know it's a frustrating result, but if you do enjoy the channel, if you do enjoy, these things that honestly, very honestly speaking, you don't get anywhere else. I mean, the guys working at BT Sport and Sky Sport don't have access to MS Paint like I do drawing these lines. They've got the fancy technology, but no one does it on Paint like I do. And not as quick to be honest. So yeah, make sure you're smashing that like button, guys, because we gotta help this channel grow. We gotta help this channel grow, and it helps. And I donate to the Fondazione Ciro Cannavaro and Ferrara. So Ciro Ferrara and Fabio Cannavaro. So yeah, we actually did super well in recent months, guys. So I do like the donations every 3 months. So now it's the start of December, so it means I have to do November, October, September, and this channel has done amazing over the last 3 months. So when I start adding up all the subscribers and all the likes of these videos, there's going to be some big paycheck going to hopefully, some well, it's going to go to the charity, not hopefully. It's going to go to the charity, but hopefully it gets used, well to help kids in Naples, and, hopefully their lives can be better. And who knows, maybe one of these guys can play for Napoli at some point. I don't know. But anyways, moving on. In the first half, we almost risked conceding a goal because Ospina here, if it wasn't for Ospina, then we would have probably conceded a goal, because this reaction was actually top notch. I mean, you can't tell from this arrow because, as I said, I'm using MS Paint, so it's very limited, my technology at this point in time. But it goes under the legs of Di Lorenzo, and honestly, Ospina, how he manages to react and see the ball all the way is crazy. It's crazy. Our BZ is saying, "Chi non like a Juventino." So if you don't like this video, you're a Juventus fan, which I agree with. I see you, Juventus fan out there, not liking the video. Danny Bomb 2.0 is saying, "There are specific teams which Napoli can't wrap around most times in these years, particularly Verona and Sassuolo. This game should have never happened after the Lazio performance." Yeah, I mean, Sassuolo's always been difficult. It's 7 games and we've only won once. I still have the image of Milik missing. Was it Milik that when we played against Sassuolo? No, that was against Milan. Sorry. But there was something that happened with Sassuolo. It was the Manolas last year. Manolas gave away the penalty when it was 3-3. Something always happens at Sassuolo. Something always happens. And I swear we lost the Super Cup at Sassuolo Stadium against Juventus as well. So not a happy stadium. Not a happy stadium for us. Paymar Dadgar saying, "Dom, with all the injuries and the African Cup, do you really think we can win the title?" Yeah, Payman, that's kind of what I'm saying, is like, yes, we're first, but we got robbed of 2 points, and those 2 points could be the difference between the title or not, because I predict it's going to be a very hard December and January for Napoli, as you said, through injuries and African Cup of Nations. Now, I wonder if the African Cup of Nations is going to go ahead, because, as you know, there's a new coronavirus variant which originated maybe in Africa. It's always hard to know where it originates, but come January, if Africa gets a lot of cases of corona, and I know this happened in South Africa and the tournament's not in South Africa, but if it spreads on the continent and the African Cup of Nations is coming soon, what's the deal then? What will FIFA decide to do? Will they postpone the tournament? Will they cancel the tournament? I don't know. We don't know how bad the situation can get. So, yeah, maybe there might not be an African Cup of Nations. Anyways, moving on to things that are about today. This is how we recovered the ball for the first goal. Mertens, doing the dirty work. I love this from Mertens. He's so sneaky, getting his foot in there. Gives the ball to Zielinski to Fabian, and you could tell that Consigli was about to go to his right, which is where Fabian normally puts his shot, and then Fabian instead cuts across, and Consigli is, it's not even angled that much, but because Consigli is already thinking of diving one way and the ball goes the other way, he couldn't get to the ball in the end. So very smart from Fabian to switch sides, and every once in a while you've got to do that. Let's see some of the comments. Hamza Amir saying, "Fake spread in Africa." Listen, man, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to get into that kind of stuff, but whatever you believe, whether it's real, fake, very real, very fake, the only thing that matters is what FIFA thinks about it. So if FIFA thinks it's an issue, then there's no African Cup of Nations or it's at risk. And that's all I'm saying. I'm saying if FIFA thinks it's an issue, then that could be the situation. I'm not saying it is going to happen or it's not going to happen. I'm just saying if FIFA thinks, whatever they think of it. What I think of it is not important. So, yeah. Canahan Flame is saying Bakayoko's 95th minute clearance against Sassuolo last season inspired some beautiful music. I wonder what it will take for us to get another song from Dom. Ooh. Yeah, so for any of you that are new here to the channel, type in Napoli Talk Bakayoko and you will know what he's talking about. For those of you that don't know, yes, I made a song about Bakayoko. Go check it out. If you check it out, it gives The Weeknd, the artist, money because he's got a copyright claim on it. So yeah, he'll go and like buy an ice cream with the 5 cents that he's gonna make off that. But yeah, it's a nice little video. If I am gonna do a new one, it's gonna be difficult because I can't do it against any of the players this year. Bakayoko was so bad last year that it was so clear that I had to make it on Bakayoko. But this year there really isn't one that stands out, so I might have to be a little more creative about how I do it. But you know, the season is long. Let's see. Brian Woods is saying they already had first case of Omicron in California, so it's not fake. Spread might be a fake virus though. I need to like read the comments before I start reading them, but I never do. I just pick a name and then I read. But I don't know why that made me laugh. Paolo Iannicello is saying, how will our team look by the time we play Milan? Do you think we will have most guys back? So let's stop the analysis for a bit and let's go to the next games. So we see what's coming up, right? So we have Atalanta on Is it Saturday? Is it Saturday the 4th? Did I get this right or is it Sunday? Why did I say Saturday? But I'm thinking, oh yeah, it is Saturday. Okay. So Saturday, we've got Atalanta, and then we've got Leicester, and then Empoli. Luckily, all three of them at home. So, you know, Napoli comes back today. They spend 10 days at home, which is good. Less traveling. That's always good. Tough games, all of them. Let alone Milan, but all tough games. You've got Atalanta, who are obviously kind of reaching their peak form right now, demolishing teams left, right, and center. We've got Leicester, who obviously is a tough opposition. They're an English team, so they're going to go aggressive. They're going to have high rhythm, and we need to win in order to go to the next stage. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, let's sacrifice this game and let's focus on the Serie A. I disagree with that. I think it's one game, just win it, get top of the group, and then we don't have to worry about the Europa League until the end of February. All right, and potentially that's a trophy for us to win. So it's just one last push. Let's give it importance. But again, Empoli, tough team. They play well, and then we've got Milan. So 19 days away or 18 days away. Hard to say how this team will look like in 18 days. I think, yeah, I don't know. I don't think 2.5 weeks. I can't see Fabian being fit for that if it's a groin issue. Groin issues tend to take a bit long. I'm not sure what Koulibaly has, to be honest. I'm not sure what Insigne has. But yeah, I'm worried about Fabian. Pretty worried about Fabian. So we'll see. But hopefully by then Anguissa's back. That should be the target, to have Anguissa back, and our midfield will look probably Lobotka and Anguissa, which is a decent midfield, to be fair. Vincenzo saying do a Manolas song. That is That is a good idea. That's a good idea. How did I not think of Manolas? It's because I never see him on the field. That's why. So, yeah. Okay. I'll think of something. I mean, that Bakayoko song, it took me like 3 minutes to write. Because it was just so natural to write about Bakayoko. Every hate that just came out. Manolas, I think as well. But there's going to be less things to write about in regards to this season, because obviously he basically didn't play. So yeah. Anyways, tough set of games. But Napoli are playing well. The thing is, Fabian is so key to us, so we'll see how we deal with that in the next few games. But I trust in them and Lobotka. I mean, I trust every single one of these players, to be fair. Every single one of these players. I'm okay to go up against any team with any player on the field. Like, we have a good squad. There's not one player that I think, ooh, I don't trust this guy. So yeah, I think we're gonna go on Saturday, play against Atalanta, and them and Lobotka are gonna have a great game. So talking about Lobotka, this is how he recovers the ball against Boga. Then Napoli pass it around for about 30 seconds. And this is what I'm talking about with what we were lacking in the first half. We had Mertens in the second half that was back to goal, and people could lay off the ball to him, and he could then pass it on first time to someone else. So this time, Lozano to Mertens to Zielinski. And, there was a way for us to basically have Sassuolo turn around, because they're looking one way right now. If this is where their face is, they're looking here. Yeah. And then, Mertens passes the ball and they have to look the other way because he passed the ball. Whereas in the first half, it was, they could just look one direction. One direction. That made me laugh. They could just look in one direction because everybody was in front of them. Whereas with Zielinski running in behind them, because that Mertens pass allows it, all of a sudden they have to turn their bodies. And when you turn your body as a defender, you lose your sense of distances. And that's when you can strike as a striker. And that's what Mertens did. As you can see, Mertens gets in behind Kirikesh. That's only possible when you take the moment when the defenders are turning. If you beat them, right? You've got to be good at pass and go. And you got to do it fast, because you got to go before the defender goes. If you do that, you get in front of him. And Zielinski did really well to give him a pass first time. So, yeah, props to Zielinski on that one. Zen Ed is saying, the first half of the second half seems so long ago. Yeah, I mean, everything changed after the 60th minute, after that Fabian injury. Costas points is a smooth phrase for the song. I'm going to write that down. Costas. It might not be a song. It might be a tongue twister. I'm just going to write that down in case I forget, guys. We're brainstorming out here, guys. This is how we're going to forget about this result. We're just going to brainstorm some lyrics. So if you guys got some bars, then let me know. Because I'm all ears. So Costas some points there. I wrote it down in my notes. Thank you, Lawrence. Smash that like button, guys, if you are watching. Sufus Kobes and Koulibaly will be out against Atalanta. Spalletti just said it. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I expect all three of those guys to be out against Atalanta. It's about whether they can be back for Milan, hopefully. Yeah. Paolo Iannicello is saying, we were so close in the 17-18 season and ultimately cannot go through blowing it again. The thing about that season, a lot of people underestimate, was Goulam's injury. I mean, it happened in November, right? Which is, we still had many months since his injury to the end of the season. And to be honest, we could have still won it regardless of that Goulam injury or not. But Goulam at that point was the most the strongest left back. And we had Hamsik, Gulam, Insigne that were working together like magic. And when Gulam was injured, Napoli suffered a bit in form. And not only that, but we lost something. We obviously adapted throughout the season, but all those games that we drew, maybe we could have won with Gulam. And I feel like Fabian getting injured here is one of those moments where he is now one of the best midfielders. I mean, he is contributing with so many goals. We've now have 5 goals from Fabian in 15 games. And it's one of those things where, I mean, it's not going to be months and months out. It's going to be a few weeks. But if we draw, let's say, against Atalanta or against Empoli, who knows? Maybe if Fabian was there, we would have won that game. And ultimately, those 2 or 3 points that we drop in these next few weeks, that could be massive for us because, the other 3 midfielders, Anguissa, Deme, Lobotka, they're not really goal scorers like Fabian is. So, yeah, that could be massive for us. Danny Baum is saying, Costas Manolas, he can run but cannot pass. Pass? I'll have to figure out a way to word that properly, but I'll put that down. That's a maybe lyric. Jason Tiso is saying, how do I smash the love button? Yeah, I wish there was that button, man. That'd be cool. I think YouTube tried actually getting rid of the dislike button at one point. Not that this channel really would notice, because you guys never smash that. Don't smash it, by the way. That's not an invitation to smash the dislike button. Don't do that. Anyway, so this is the injury I'm talking about. That Fabian injury doesn't look good. And then this is when Sassuolo score. Yeah, we can talk about the marking. Elmas is late on Scamacca. Koulibaly, Rahmani, and Mairui are positioned correctly. Rahmani has got the front post in case Scamacca decides to lunge forward. So that's good. That's where he needs to be. Koulibaly is on, I think that's Berardi in the middle. And Mairui has got the far post with the other guy over there. But Scamacca is left free. And Elmas is late to that. But yeah, Elmas is late. That's not good. But, I mean, you have to also realize that Elmas was playing left wing in this time of the game. The other midfielder was actually Politano. We were playing with Politano, Lobotka in the middle. So maybe it was Politano that needed to mark Scamacca. We have to relook at that. But yeah, I mean, credit to Scamacca, because it's not easy to control that ball and then destroy the net with a volley like that. I mean, Ospina has good reflexes, guys. We know how good Ospina is, and Ospina was years late to this shot. Really late in comparison to how quick that ball went. Let's see some of the comments. Inter will be first at the 1st January, says Jasonic Multiverse. Look, Inter can be first the 1st of January, the 2nd of January, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. They can be first in February, they can be first in March. We'll give them April as well. We'll give them the first few days of May if they really want. We'll give them all the time in first place that Inter want, as long as at the end of the season Napoli and the final minute regains that spot. I'll be happy with that. Inter can have it next week if they want it. I'll give it to Inter next week. I'll say keep it for the next 3-4 months. Just give it back at the end of the season. I'm okay with that. There's no problem with Inter being first in January. We don't worry about that stuff. Tariq BK saying, hi Dom, every time against Sassuolo we finish games suffering. What the hell happened? I hate Sassuolo. Yeah, literally Sassuolo and Atalanta I hate. Possibly more than Juventus. I feel like with Juventus we kind of, obviously I hate Juventus, but I feel like, with teams like Inter, Milan and Juve, it goes both ways a lot of the times. Like, it's always like one time we get screwed over, the other time they get screwed over, or, you know, like we'll win at home and they'll win at their home. With Sassuolo, it's just constant losses. I mean, I still remember De Frel's goals like they happened yesterday. And for me, that doesn't happen with other teams. Like, I don't sit back and think... Actually, no, that's a lie, because that happens with Verona. Actually, there's a lot of teams I hate. Let's just say I hate every single one. I'm just thinking of other teams. As I was saying, I hate this team and I hate that team, I'm thinking Verona, Bologna, Fiorentina. Yeah, I hate pretty much all of them. So, yeah. I guess I don't like any of them. They can all suck. Yeah. But anyways, Sassuolo, yeah, tough. Always happens in the dying moments against Sassuolo. That's the difference between the other teams. The other teams is like, it's like a slow burn death. With Sassuolo, it's always the last minute of the game. Something happens. Daniel Nervosa is saying, Ciao Dom, do you think a change of formation, especially in the midfield, is needed to adapt to the loss of Fabian? That's a very good question, Daniel. Oof. I don't know. I think because we have no Fabian and no Anguissa, we literally only have Demme and Lobotka that can play there. If we play three in the middle, so if we put Zielinski in there, then, you know, essentially we're taking away that number 10. And honestly, we're so limited with the amount of players. It's almost like it doesn't matter. We just got to put the players that we have left. We've got two midfielders. We've got Zielinski as a number 10 because he's not great. He's not as good in the three in midfield. And then we've got to play Mertens, Politano, and Lozano up front. I mean, the formation sets itself at this point. These are the only players that we have in this point in time. I mean, you could play 4-3-3 with Zielinski, Demme, and Lobotka, but Demme or Lobotka playing, I don't know how I see that. I mean, I feel like Lobotka did so well in his position. Demme as well is pretty good in his position. Zielinski is doing well in this position. I don't know what you can do. It's not like changing formation is going to give you more options in the bench in that midfield area. I can't see that, to be honest. But let me know what you think. You know, don't just ask me the questions. Let me know, Dom, I think we should play like this, and that, and then, you know, I'll be like, oh yeah, you've got a point. Daniel's saying, let's hope Unas can contribute. Yeah, Daniel Bone's right. Unas obviously didn't come in today, but let's hope he can. He's coming back from injury, so yeah. Obviously Spalletti didn't want to risk him today because we saw that the other guys got injuries, and it would have sucked to have even more injuries if we rush someone back. So probably a good thing that he didn't come back. And yeah, here is an image of Koulibaly injured, which is never nice to see. And this is a picture that I liked. And, you know, here Napoli was winning 2-1, and I was still like, yeah, it's okay. We're winning 2-1. You know, obviously we're suffering. Obviously there's injuries, but, you know, we can find time for some jokes. And so I was having a bit of fun. And literally, as soon as I clicked save, then Sassuolo scored their second goal. So I apologize if this is out of touch with your feelings right now, but this was supposed to be funny. This was supposed to be funny. And now that we tied the game, nothing feels funny. So I am sorry. But yeah, as you know, Petagna, the bulldozer, I mean, he destroyed this kid. Absolutely destroyed this kid. And then we get to the point which decided the game. There was a foul on Rahmani. Clear as day. And then the ref doesn't call it. And then the ball is like a 50-50. And Demme goes in for a slide tackle. And he gets 100% of the ball. But because it was a 50-50, the momentum of both players made it so that they collided. And with Demme having done a slide tackle, it seemed as though maybe potentially Demme fouled the Sassuolo player, but that's only if you're an inexperienced referee who doesn't understand the dynamics of football. This guy has probably never played a single minute of football in his life, not even FIFA. And yeah, that's the outcome. That he even gets a yellow card. That's the crazy thing about it. He gets a yellow card for this. Like, what did the ref see here? Absolutely shambolic from the ref. And Sassuolo score from this. Bad defending. But again, you've got to ask yourself, what is Elmas doing in defense? That's twice now that someone has scored with Elmas supposedly defending him. At the same time, I don't think it's his fault that he got one of Sassuolo's center backs to defend. It's not his fault. It's not his. Even if he jumped, nothing would have happened. That guy, look how high he's jumped. Elmas could never have done anything about it, and it was a very good header. I even think Ospina could have done something here, which is, not something that I always say about Ospina. Payman Dadgar saying, I want to smash something and cannot laugh. If we lose against Atalanta next fixture, I think the race is over. If we lose against Atalanta next fixture, then I don't want to think about that, man. I don't want to think about it. But we got overly enthusiastic against Lazio. Is maybe what happened. I think we saw a very good team, and they are a very good team, but it's almost like we lost sight of the table, that even a draw would bring the other teams right back on us. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting if we don't get 3 points against Atalanta. But if we do beat Atalanta, then we can, relax a little more, because Atalanta are a good team. Can we talk about the real issue today? Mertens was robbed, and the rest of us too, of a Team of the Week Mertens card. Oh man, I love it when I used to care about FIFA. Oh man, I think Mertens. I'm sure. I mean, I don't follow FIFA, but I'm sure he must have gotten it over the weekend, right? For sure. After his performance against Lazio. Vesavis is saying, if we lose against Atalanta, we're at worst 1 point behind first, or 2 points. What the hell, people? I think, Vesavis, as you said, we need to chill, right? But I think where we're going with this is that it would mean that we're starting a downwards trend, or, it goes back to the African Cup of Nations and the injuries that we're having. It's like, one thing is to say we're first and we've got a 5-point lead, and then we've got all this stuff happening. Okay, great, we've got a 5-point lead. We can handle that. But if you're down 2 points, yeah, you're not out of the title race. But obviously you're 2 points down, and you've got no one on the bench, and then you've got the African Cup of Nations. It's very hard to see how we are gonna keep the pace of Milan, Inter, and Atalanta if we lose against Atalanta over the next few weeks. Having said that, you might argue, okay, well, why are we even thinking about the title race? I think this team needs to think about the title race for the way that we started the season. I mean, we are pretty much guaranteed 4th spot. So unless you just want to have the next 20 games mean absolutely nothing, then go ahead. I mean, we know this team has got 4th spot, and no matter what happens, we're proud of this team. But, now it's like, okay, we're fighting for the title. Like, we really are. That's the only thing that we really have got to fight for. Because as I said, 4th spot. Like, we're not going to finish 5th. Roma lost against Bologna today. Juventus is not going to catch us. The gap between first and fifth right now is 11 points. So there's no point worrying about fourth spot. There's no point. We've got to put our sights on first. So that's just what I think. That's just what I think. Diego Marquez is saying, "Def not over. The other top team can hurt each other. We are still in this." That's true, Diego. That's true. They still need to play each other, but not as much as we have to play them, because we have to play Atalanta and Milan. And yeah. This Avis is saying, "Sure, we're fighting for the title, but being a couple of points down doesn't mean it's all over." Yeah, it's not over. I agree with you. It's not over, but I think over the next 2 months, from now until January, and I said it before the Inter game in my Inter preview with Uncle Sharma. I said January is a month where I predict other teams like Inter are gonna score more points than us. So yeah, it's about making sure that at the end of January we're not too far out of reach. If we're still within 4 points of first place or in first place at the end of January, then we still got a chance. If it's 5 or more, bit harder. So yeah, but as Anthony is saying, Inter Napoli February 16th is when we'll find out, and I really do think that Inter is our number one rival right now. They've got the strongest team. They've got no issues with the African Cup of Nations. And they've got the experience of having won it last year. Daniel Bowman saying, "Remember, we get Milan and Inter at home second half of the season." Also true. We can beat Atalanta on Saturday, even if not, the distance is not going to be too much to recover from. Okay, so you guys are optimistic, and that's good. That's good, and, that could very well be that we beat Atalanta, and we've got very good odds of still beating Atalanta. We're a good team. But... yeah, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see how that goes, guys. We will be without Spalletti because Spalletti got a red card. Unreal how this ref completely lost control of the game, giving Spalletti a red card. And he was about to do another tragedy with basically giving Sassuolo a goal here. There's a clear foul on Rahmani. Look at this. Hands on Rahmani. Berardi's nowhere near the ball. You could never say, "Oh, it's a tackle and the guy went for the ball." The ball's like the other side of the field, almost. There's a clear gap between the players and the ball. Berardi pushes Rahmani to the ground, and they score. And this referee, had to be called back by VAR. It would have been an international scandal if he hadn't. But he's not fit for purpose, this guy. I keep going back to it. 6 games in Serie A. You cannot give this referee, with this lack of experience, the job to go and officiate a game with the team playing in first spot, potentially deciding their title. So yeah, Paolo Iannicello is saying, "Dom, please convince me that Napoli will be fine because I'm not confident about Saturday." Lobotka is gonna put in a master performance on Saturday, and he's gonna score a hat trick. Trust me, bro. Trust me. Payment Dadgar saying, "I will support Napoli even after bankruptcy, but this team always lets us down. Cannot see us winning a major trophy. If my love was not so strong, I would walk away, but I can't. Forza Napoli sempre." Okay, guys, let's not get too down. All right. I feel like some of you might just jump off or something. Well, don't do that. It's all right. It's a draw. Remember, it could have been worse. The score says 3-2, but it got cancelled. Could have been worse. And we're still first. Why don't we do a bit of therapy right now? Okay? Bit of therapy, and let me show you the table. All right? This is therapy session by Napoli Talk. It's going to be okay. You're fine. Tell me how this makes you feel, but it's going to be fine, okay? We're first. I want you to not look at anything else. Just look at this. We are first. Okay? Does this make you guys feel better? Okay? Do you want me to leave this here with the lights on? Is that what you guys want? Does this help? Let me know if this helps, guys. I mean, it's helping me. It's helping me. So I'm doing this therapy for myself as well. Yeah, I mean, we are first. We are first. And 36 points in 15 games is massive. Massive, massive, massive. Yeah. Let's see how it goes against Atalanta. We'll have a much clearer idea of the situation we're in come Saturday. So Anthony Navarro saying Pasalic, Duvan, and Malinovsky, and that's stuff of nightmares, man. I'm just glad Gosens is not in that team at the moment. But Atalanta have an unreal team. Unreal. Right, you guys enjoyed that therapy session, so that's good. I'm a man of many talents. I apparently also now do therapy. I'm doing it for free. Guys. The only therapist doing this stuff for free. But I needed it as well. This was more for me than for you, actually. Anyways, I think we can go to the press conference, guys, because I so want to hear what Spalletti had to say about this, because I want to ask him. I want to know what he had to say about the about what do you call it? The red card. By the way, interestingly, Sassuolo had 51% possession, so they beat Napoli in possession. Top two teams for possession in Serie A this season, and Sassuolo beat us, which was interesting. So let's go and see the press conference. So he spoke to DAZN, and he said, how much? So they asked him, how much have the injuries affected the performance and the result? And he's saying, I don't know, but it's clear that those are players that are, top level, and they give a lot of tranquility to the team. Players like Insigne, Fabi&aacute, and Koulibaly. And they also are able to manage the game. So they have the experience to know when to keep the ball, when to pass it, how to slow the game down. And then I think, as much as players like Elmas and stuff like that are great players, they don't have that experience of knowing when to slow the game down, when to pass it backwards, when to do a tactical foul or not. So, yeah. Gerald Hualpa, Inter fan, always joins. I actually like Gerald because he's a very respectful Inter fan, so I always appreciate him joining the chat. I think Atalanta will beat you guys. I also don't see Salernitana doing none to Milan. So yeah, I like this guy because he has these predictions, but we'll see. I'm not gonna say anything because I can't be like, oh no, we'll beat Atalanta, because I don't know. So that's your opinion, and it's cool. You can have your opinion. It's respectful as well. So I'm not gonna But let's see who Inter play. I wanna check out Inter's fixture list. So you've got Roma. Yeah, no chance you'll beat Roma. No chance. No. Moving on. They ask Spalletti about the midfielders, and he's saying we have great quality in the midfield. It's a shame because I asked Fabian if he wanted to be substituted, and then Fabian said no, I'm doing fine, and then 2 minutes later he got injured. So, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. On the one hand, he's trusting his players, which is good. On the other hand, he's got more experience than his players. So he should know that, look, Fabian, we're dealing with an injury. That's why he's not played the Europa League games. There's a reason why he didn't bring him to the Europa League games to play midweek, and now he gets injured midweek. You know, he really does need that full week of rest, Fabian, at the moment. And, you know, players always want to play games. They always want to play, but they don't know what's best for them at times. So, yeah. So yeah, it's different. And he's saying even Koulibaly also had a few problems. Even with him, the game that the leg that he was struggling with didn't hold the full 90 minutes. It's tough to recover them for the next game, even though we've got some good doctors. Shout out to Dr. Canonico, who I've got an appointment with Dr. Canonico, actually, the Napoli doctor, because I gotta check out my leg, because I think some of you guys know I've got a torn ACL which I need to fix, and so I couldn't resist booking an appointment with the guy that's treating all the Napoli players for when I go back home. So I hope to ask him a few questions. Who knows? Maybe he'll be like the next guest on the show, which would be cool. You know, the doctor. I'll call him Doc if I ever interview him, which I've always wanted to do. So, yeah. Anyways, little side note. Oh, and EJ Wise has donated $4.99. Thank you, man, for your constant support for the channel. Super appreciate it. Join late. Did I miss ratings? Also enjoying the therapy really helps. I don't think I did the ratings yet. I'm just doing the press conference and then I'll do the ratings last. So I will do it. And thank you, man, for supporting. Honestly, that's awesome. Even when we lose, I know it must not be easy to do that. So thanks. They ask Spalletti that we use the right-hand side a bit more compared to the left one. And he says, yeah, up until we were up 2-0, it was easy to use both sides, but you know, we were doing well up until that 2-0, and then after that we didn't control the game very well. They tied the game, and you know, congrats to Sassuolo. So he didn't really answer the question. They asked him about Napoli playing on the right-hand side, and he just didn't answer. But the juicy question is this one. Why did you get a red card? And he said, I protested the foul that was supposed to be on Rahmani, and then Sassuolo got the foul instead. There was a foul on Rahmani and not for Sassuolo. I protested this because that's where the 2-2 came from. And I don't even know why Demme... I don't know if Demme got the ball or the guy's foot, but from the bench it seemed like it was first an initial foul on Rahmani. I protested in a way that was a bit too reactive. We always tell the players not to do it, so I hope the players don't follow my example. Yeah, it was definitely a foul on Rahmani there. Daniel Bowen with the $10 donation. Give us your ratings for Ref Dom. Man, if I give my ratings for the ref, this channel is going to get cancelled. If I were to give my honest ratings for the ref, I'd get banned from YouTube. I want to say so many nice things about this ref that unfortunately I can't, because I'm on camera and I don't want to do that on camera. But thank you, man, for supporting the channel as always. I hope you go and watch the game against Atalanta. You were there against Lazio. Must have been so awesome. Everybody that was there against Lazio needs to go back and support this team against Atalanta. We need a packed stadium, so I hope you're going there and supporting the team, man. And yeah, just keep being awesome, man. Rico25 is saying, what's your thought on Napoli in UEFA Europa League? You think we will top it? Tough to say. Let's wait until after Atalanta, because I don't know. If we get more injuries, then I don't know how we're going to beat Leicester with more injuries, to be honest. Jared is saying, sorry Dom, but I'll root for Napoli when we're not some points behind them. Fair enough. A 10 for the ref, minus 10. Yeah, that's generous. Vincenzo is saying it in Napolitan. Man, if I say it in Napolitano, like, then I'm so tempted, man. I'm so tempted. But nah, I'm not gonna do that. Cannavaro Flame saying, why does Koulibaly only get a 6? He was so good until his injury. We fell apart without him. Look, I think it was so average. Like, I thought the whole team today was so average. I mean, I gave 6.5s to Mertens for the goal. I thought it was a great goal. And for the recovery of the ball for the first goal, I gave Zielinski a 6.5 for his 2 assists. I gave Fabian a 6.5 for his goal, and because the midfield honestly did really well, with Lobotka as well. But everyone else had an average game. Like, 6 is not bad. It just means you played at your average. And yeah, I mean, I don't think Sassuolo gave us too many. Sassuolo didn't give us too many things for us to worry about necessarily. I mean, maybe I'm being harsh there with Sassuolo. Juan Jesus 5.5 says Anthony Navarro. To me, he was at fault for the Ferrari goal. How does Jesus get a 6? I say Cannavaro Flame. Was Juan Jesus at fault for the Ferrari goal? Was he? I thought maybe it was more. I mean, if we go back to the analysis, right, and we've got the screenshot. I mean, Juan Jesus is nowhere near Ferrari. What are we talking about? What? I don't know. I have no idea. I would have to relook at that. For me, it doesn't look like Juan Jesus' fault. So, I don't know. But I could be wrong. Anyways, let's go back to this. And 5.999 for Insigne, says Diego Marquez. I think they did no one played bad. No one played bad where you're saying, wow, this is a bad performance. So I don't think anyone deserves less than a 6, but no one either did too much to deserve more than a 6.5, and those that did a 6.5 were really the ones that contributed for the goals the most. Everyone, even Ospina had a good save on Ferrari, and then I think he was partially at fault for the header, for not saving that header. So just a very average game in my opinion. Even Spalletti, I think, didn't start the first half so well, but actually, we kept control of the ball. We dominated Sassuolo in their own half, in the first half, sorry. And then we did well in the second half, in the first 20 minutes, and then we just lost out in the second half. But to be honest, that's with all the injuries. I mean, we were very limited with what we could do in that game. So, yeah, just average. I don't know. Lobotka and Zielinski were not equal in my books. Lobo had 7 fouls. I felt he was really poor today. Lobo, he had fouls, but I think I think making fouls is not a bad thing necessarily. If it stops the other team from expressing themselves, it's actually a good thing. It's something that Sassuolo did for us, and I thought he was really good at ball recovery. His passing was still good today. Thought he did all right, but again, this is nothing special. I'm not saying he did a special performance. Like the one against Lazio, I know I give everybody a 10, but the one against Lazio, he probably deserved an 8.5 on that one. So this is still miles away from that performance. So yeah, just very average in the end. Everyone just very, very average. Even the guys that came on, Politano, Jesus, Demme, Elmas, Petagna, I don't think any one of them necessarily did anything bad or horrible or something that cost us the game, but they also didn't do anything that helped us. So that's why they get a 6. You could say Demme cost us by the foul, but for me, that wasn't the foul. So, yeah. Paolo Yanichello saying, considering this could have been another loss to Sassuolo, I'll take a draw even though it's not the best result. Yeah, it's one of those where, like, I go back to this 7 years that we go to Sassuolo. In the last 7 years, we only won once. So, and we lost several. So it's one of those where you look at the calendar, right? When the Serie A list, let's be realistic here. No team is gonna win every game. There's gonna be games that you know you're gonna drop points. Realistically speaking, Inter away. 17 times we went there. The last 17 times we only won twice. So you know you're gonna realistically drop points against Inter at the San Siro. You know you're gonna drop points against Sassuolo at Reggio Emilia. You know you're probably going to drop points against Verona. Because we always do that. There's games like these where it's like you just know it's going to happen. And then when it happens, as Paolo is saying, and now he deleted his comment for some reason, but I fully agree with it. It's like you can't really be too upset with it, It's almost like we knew that this was gonna happen. So yeah, I'm more upset maybe about. Let's see, who else could we, like, Bologna's another one of those. Bologna away has always been tricky. So when we play against Bologna, that's gonna be tough. There are games that if Napoli win, it's almost like it means double. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys don't agree with that. Maybe you guys feel differently about it. But Sassuolo away, you're never gonna be confident about that one. But it's the same thing for Milan, right? Milan playing against Sassuolo, they're gonna drop points. Like, it's just, I don't know why that happens in football, to be honest, because the players change, coaches change, the dynamics of the season changes, your form, your mood, everything changes, and yet you get consistent results, the same type of results against certain teams. I really don't understand it. Nikola Jokic is saying we need luck versus Atalanta. They're on a row. Atalanta at home will be tough. They have no losses away. There's always a first. I like how you're being positive, not including Atalanta, but we lose to them a lot, plus the annual loss to a relegation side. I think we got better against relegation sides, to be honest. I think that used to be more of an issue back in the day. But yeah, we did struggle against Salernitana. We struggled against Cagliari last year. No, yeah, we still struggle against relegation side. Yeah. It's weird. Because then there's teams that, like, when we play at home against them, you know you're going to win. Like, and I'm not going to say it because I don't want to jinx it, but yeah. Like, Genoa, for example. Genoa at home. We've always done well against Genoa at home, So yeah, it's just one of those things, man. It's just weird. It's just weird things about football. Shrek is saying, what are your thoughts on Lozano? Would you replace him? Does he need a lot to improve? Honestly, yes. If the right offer came this summer, I would replace him, just for the fact that he doesn't... Fundamentally, he doesn't want to be here. I mean, he said it that he wants to go to a bigger team. And that's That's really not what you want to hear. If you're his teammate, if you're the fan, if you're the coach. So, you know, this guy doesn't even want to be here, to be honest. So, if the right offer comes, then yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lose sleep over Lozano, you know. He's an all-right player. I think I would only lose sleep over a few of these guys. Over Ospina, over Koulibaly, over Fabian, the way he's playing this year. If we lose out on Anguissa for 15 million, Mertens if we don't renew him, Di Lorenzo, but not Lozano. I don't think I would miss him necessarily. Just hasn't performed enough for me this season. EJ Wise, man, you already donated. You gotta relax, man. You gotta keep some for yourself. Oh, I almost feel bad. But thank you for donating, man. I had to double donate, but someone on the Discord pointing out that we've only been signing good-looking players, and I have no choice but to agree. Great stream as always, Dom, Forza, Napoli sempre. Look, man, I don't care how these players look. They could have 5 eyeballs and a bigger nose than Chiellini. But if they do well on the field, then hey, you know, that's great. That's all I care about. What I can say is Napoli are only buying like nice guys. And I'm talking about looks. I'm talking about like personality-wise. You know, guys that are not going to be on the front pages of newspapers. Like, we're not buying a Vidal, a Balotelli, you know, these guys, and Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic's not a bad guy, but he's some guy that's going to come out with some statement every once in a while. Like, we're buying guys that are not going to make headlines. And that's very smart by Napoli, because everything is so... It becomes exponentially more of a problem when something happens in Naples. Like, if Vidal comes home at like 2 a.m. In Milan, you know, no one bats an eye. If someone at Napoli were to do that, then huge issue on every newspaper, you know. It's just one of those things. Daniel Bowman saying, I wanted Dembele years ago. Yeah, Dembele is one of those that Napoli will never sign, because Dembele is one of those that, you know, he's going to be playing Fortnite all day, and he's going to be in the news about how he's not performing, and like you know, he's the type of player that even when he's at Barcelona, you know, I haven't got a specific example in my head, but I read sometimes stuff about him, about how he plays too much video games, how he shows up late to training, he does all these, and it's just like, it's these little things that they wouldn't fit with the type of profile that Napoli go for. Napoli goes for like very serious players, very serious, very professional players, and very like humane players as well, like Koulibaly, Gulam, like Mertens. These are all guys that like help out in the community and all that. Like, yeah, just nice people, if that makes sense. Not that playing video games doesn't make you nice, so I don't know if this makes any sense, but I think you guys get it. I might have to do a separate video to address this and explain myself better, but yeah. I'd love to see a left-footed version of Insigne on the right wing, a Mahrez or Ziyech style player. Ooh, those would be nice. Mahrez or Ziyech would be incredible. How about Edson Alvarez? Would you take him? Edson Alvarez, how old is he? Edson Alvarez, let's see. Edson Alvarez. When you type Alvarez on Google, you get a million different results. So he's only 24. I thought he was younger. I thought he was younger. I thought he was like 21. But 24 means that maybe he's not going to be as expensive. Yeah, I would take him. He's doing quite well with Ajax. Yeah. I don't know. When does his contract run out? Let's see. Let's go to his transfer market thing. And let's see when his contract runs out. 2025. Yeah, no. That's going to be too expensive. That's 4 years from now. I think Napoli's going to go for players that have maybe 1 or 2 years left in their contract, just to make sure that the price is not as high. Anyways, guys, I am super tired, super tired. So I'm gonna have to end the stream right now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Not the best result, not the best mood, but hope you guys still had a good time on the chat. We have the game against Atalanta on Saturday, so yeah, let's catch up on that one. Until then, have a good week and a great night or day if you're watching it the day after. And as always, Forza Napoli sempre.